At the start of this year, I reached out to my friends at BMC and I said, I'd like to take your entry-level BMC Teammachine, and I know what some of you are gonna say. There's no bloody entry-level yet, nigga! But it is technically an entry-level BMC Teammachine, and compare it to my top-level 2023 BMC Teammachine SLR 2 valued at $10,400 USD. And as part of this comparison, the idea was that we would pimp up the entry-level BMC Teammachine and see how close we could get it weight and performance-wise to the top-level BMC Teammachine without blowing the bank. BMC HQ agreed, they put me in touch with the Aussie distributor, and they said, this is our most popular entry-level BMC Teammachine, the Tier 2 Carbon SLR Five with Shimano 105 Di2, some alloy Mavic wheels and an alloy bar, currently coming in at circa 3,600 USD. I then tested my top tier BMC Teammachine, which for the purposes of this project series, we labeled the super bike, but now based on your requests, we're labeling for this video and moving forward, the Sex Panther.
They've done studies, 60% of the time, it works every time.
Against the entry-level BMC Teammachine, which we labeled the Silver Fox. So we have the Sex Panther versus the Silver Fox. Now you can watch that original video up here before I upgraded everything, but I will be sharing those original results in this video today. And after that video went live, I asked you, the audience, I did a poll in my community section, how much am I allowed to spend on the Silver Fox in American dollars? And you said $2,000. So this is where I spent the money upgrading the Silver Fox. And before I go through this, I don't want this to come across like,
I don't know how to put this. People know me.
But I've done a lot of work with Chinese companies over the years, so much so that I have been ridiculed.
Cam, it's just hard to take you seriously when everybody knows that you're in bed with China.
So there were literally a number of these budget options from the Chinese emerging market that I could have chosen from, but I chose. These S-All carbon 50mm Super Team wheels with carbon bladed spokes and a ceramic ratchet style hub valued at $1,300 USD because I have tested these wheels previously against the DT Swiss wheels on the Sex Panther, and I knew from those tests, which I'll link up here, that the Super Team wheels were basically on par with the DT Swiss wheels for about a third of the price. And since that video went live, Super Team have actually upgraded their wheels, which is the ones that I have here. Now let me be clear, Super Team are not paying me for this video in cash. They have just provided the wheels, which is exactly the same for the bars I've put on the Silver Fox, which were provided by Panda Podium. You see, with the integrated carbon bar market, I'm not as familiar with it as I am with the wheel market. So I reached out to the owner of Panda Podium, Joe, who I know was a fellow YouTuber, and it's also somebody who was originally my contact when I was working with WinSpace many years ago, and he suggested these Fastsport F1S handlebars valued at $400 USD. So essentially, the sponsors of this video are Super Team and Panda Podium for providing product, which I'm very grateful for. And we're now at $1,700 USD upgrading the Silver Fox without me actually spending anything. So virtually, in virtual money, we have $300 USD left over. So I buy a Shimano Ultegra 12-speed cassette with real money for around 100. That knocks off about 100 grams of weight off the bike as well. And I've added the Vittoria Corsa Pro 26mm clincher tires and some lightweight TPU tubes, which accounts for the final 200 and also ensures we have the same tires and tubes across both bikes for the testing. One final upgrade I wanted to talk about on the Silver Fox before I reveal the new weight is one annoying thing BMC have done with this model. Now, yes, I am a BMC fanboy, have been for years. They officially became a partner in 2023 and all that, but it doesn't mean, in my humble YouTube dickhead opinion, that I can't be frustrated with some things they do at times. And in this instance, see this area right here. This is the area designed for BMC's integrated bottle cages, which makes the bike look great, and apparently it's more aero with these integrated BMC cages. But this SLR model just doesn't come with the cages. It's set up for the cages, but you don't get them with the bike. which I found a little bit disappointing. So I managed to get a pair of these for free through some sleuthing. So weighing the bike now without cages and pedals, because that's how we originally weighed the Silver Fox, we have lost close to 1 kilogram. That is massive, girthy, huge weight loss there. And we're talking only about half a kilo off the Sex Panther now. And I feel like from all the bike testing that I have done, and once again, this is just anecdotal, if you're over that 7.5 kilos without pedal weight, you really start to feel the bike weight. You notice it going up climbs, chasing, trying to get onto a wheel. It just feels a bit bricky. Whereas under 7.5 kilos without pedals, the bike's just going to feel a lot more nimbler. You're going to be able to jump onto a wheel a lot easier. It's just going to feel a lot better in my opinion. So, what about the speed tests? Now I'll link to the data below so you can see for yourself, including linking to all the Strava segments, but just so you know, it does get a little convoluted with the original test for reasons I won't bore you with in this video. So there's clarity, I'm going to tell you what is the gap we were trying to close from the non-upgraded Silver Fox to the Sex Panther to now. And the first test is a 1.5 kilometer closed road climb where I'm attempting to hold 350 watts. And the gap we're attempting to close from non-upgraded Silver Fox to Sex Panther was 3 seconds. Now, basically under zero wind conditions, across all 6 runs external to the last run where a little bit of wind crept in, the Silver Fox is now operating at exactly the same speed. The second run is a 1.6 kilometer descent where I pedal at 350 watts into a signpost and then free pedal down the hill. The time gap we're looking to close was 8.5 seconds in favor of the Sex Panther, of course, and now you can see external to one run impacted by car interference. We can see the Sex Panther is less than 1 second faster, which in the scheme of things on a descent like that is basically nothing. I then drive to the criterium track, which is roughly 1 kilometer in length with a little descent and a little pinch climb with flat either side. The aim here is 6 laps at 250 watts, constant pressure, holding the same lines of course. Although I'd just like to point out the wind had picked up here a little as it was a bit later in the morning, but the wind does stay consistent here across each run. The gap we're trying to close here from non-upgraded Silver Fox is 7 seconds in favor of the Sex Panther, and now the upgraded Silver Fox is only trailing by 1.5 seconds, which again is minimal. The final test is a spin down, where I roll down the descent side of the criterium track without pedaling as shown in this example. This ends up being roughly 400 to 500 meters of rolling, with the idea being to see how far I can go without any pedal assistance. The previous gap was 40 meters in favor of the Sex Panther, which was massive. Now please know before I share the results here, I did have a bit of a tech issue with this particular run. You see, I was using these red tire levers to mark where I landed, but after 2 runs on the Sex Panther, this happened. I don't know what is going on here. There's only 2 people at the crit track, and I've asked them both, but someone has stolen my markers. There was one up there, and there was one down here, and they're gone. So someone or something took my red tire levers. Now, I'm pretty sure it was an animal, because there were only 2 other people at the crit track at the time of this happening, and I asked them about my levers and they had no idea what I was talking about. So it's no wonder why in the rim versus disc battle, I used litter. I can't be expected to buy tire levers every time I do this test, clearly. There's a rogue animal in this section of the criterium track. Thankfully though, I remembered where I landed on the Sex Panther. What I do know is the best run on the Sex Panther was in line with that whole shade, and that's where I've landed twice now on the Silver Fox. So essentially we've gone from a 40 meter gap to exactly the same. From these tests, we can conclude that spending $2,000 on an entry-level mainstream bike will get you pretty close, if not bang on, to a top-tier mainstream bike. This is based on the tests that I have completed in this video series. Of course, the Silver Fox price has now increased to $5,600 USD versus the Sex Panther at $10,400. So basically a $5,000 difference. Can you justify that $5,000 difference? Well, anecdotally for me, the only real tangible advantage that I can feel with the Sex Panther is Let's just say you're going up a sharp, steep climb and there's people attacking and you've got to get out of the saddle and you've got to jump onto a wheel. That extra, 400-500 grams of weight. And the carbon layout, which is a better quality carbon, it does feel a touch stiffer. You do notice the Sex Panther is a little bit better performing in those instances, but it's not huge. And that's basically the only thing that I can really feel anecdotally from riding both bikes. So if you got value from this video, don't forget to give it a like or even drop a comment. Thanks for doing the test, dickhead, much appreciated. Something like that. It all helps with the algorithm, the channel growth, all this kind of stuff. And I will catch you in the next one.